everyone, and welcome to episode 3 of That Tottenham Show. I don't know why I'm smiling so much. It's not like we have much to be happy about. We have a very special guest on today, which I wasn't expecting, but I'm very, very happy to have on. And our usual panel as always. So let's jump right into it. Hi everyone, welcome to episode 3. As always, I'm joined by Toby and Tanya. How are you both? Toby, how are you?
I'm good. Joined by TNT.
Well, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Tanya, you good? Other than our team, are you good?
Yeah, other than Tottenham, I'm good. I'm better than Tottenham anyway.
Well, yeah, that's not too hard to do right now. And we have a very special guest on with us today. I'm sure you all know who he is. I don't need to give too much of an introduction, but I'm very happy to have him here. We have Anthony Costa from Blue. Hi! We're all very excited to have you. I was not expecting to get someone of your stature just yet, so I'm very happy to have you on.
No, it's all good. It's all good.
Not only we have to rant about rant about our team at the moment, which isn't the best right now. Let's start with the City game. I will get into more in-depth opinions of Anthony's, but we know ours anyway. But we'll start with the City game. When the lineup came up, I'm sure we all were a bit shocked and a bit confused as to how we were going to play. Toby, what was your initial thoughts when that lineup came out?
Oh, I knew how we were going to play. I knew it doesn't
Mourinho.
It don't take a rocket scientist to figure out how we were going to play, but it's expected, to be honest, because we were playing away from home to a side who had literally won 15 games on the trot prior to that game. Mm-hmm. So I felt like he had to go with a counter-attacking approach against Man City, because if it's a toe-to-toe type football game, then we're gonna get pummeled. So the lineup I expected as well. Lamora, they did their thing against Everton. So yeah, they're back to being Lamora. Yeah, Lamora, they did their thing against Everton, so they were gonna play, and then of course Harry Kane and Son, they were gonna play. But I was shocked that he chose Davinson Sanchez and Alderweireld at Davinson Sanchez and Dyer as the centre back pairing. I know Alderweireld played 120 minutes, but you're literally playing the best that the Premier League has to offer, and you're playing our worst centre back pairing possible. So it just didn't make any sense to me. But yeah.
Yeah, well, I mean, the whole Tanganga thing, which we will get into, I think he did well, but it's hard to constantly throw him in these games. He likes to do this to him. I don't know why he keeps doing this, giving him his first start against Liverpool and then City. But Anthony, let's come to you. What did you think of the lineup, the way we set up, the way we played? I mean, it's not much shock, really. It was City, but I just think it was a bit feeble, to be honest. But yeah, what did you think?
Yeah, I mean, I thought the way we set up, I knew there was going to be a mistake in us. We're Tottenham, we make mistakes. I said to my pal, I said, look, he goes, what do you reckon, Costa? I said, trust me, there's going to be we're going to give a 20-25 minutes, and gave away a penalty. And it just goes to show our squad ain't good enough. We've got a mistake in us. I thought Mourinho would have changed the mentality of the squad and players, but unfortunately it hasn't happened. No matter who you are in charge of Spurs, we're going to have mistakes. And to be honest with you, the football was pathetic. To not even go and try it and give them a game. Listen, if we lose, we lose.
Yeah.
I'm sitting here thinking, I've got it in the background. Shamed. I feel ashamed. I've got it in the background. I was more excited to watch the Masked Singer final. You see what I'm saying? That's wrong. That's wrong.
Yeah,
I'm watching it.
I heard you on.
I've got it in the background.
I think we're all going to say I heard your last word on Spurs, right?
Yeah, exactly. I heard your last word on Spurs, and you're saying the same thing. You said after 1-0, you took it off.
What's to say? I didn't know what else to do. I thought we've given away a penalty. Our heads are going to go down. We haven't got the mentality. Someone's going to make a mistake. Lo and behold, we give a penalty away. The next half, Sanchez done what he done, and that really summed up at the moment in time. It summed up Spurs this season, and unfortunately, no matter, as I said, no matter who's judge, you've got to get rid of the players. It's a joke now. There's only 5 or 6 players. I'm sure we'll come on to that I personally would keep, and that's saying something.
Yeah, it's definitely a collective. Tanya, I know we probably all covered it, but is there anything you want to add on just that City game as a whole?
I mean, yeah, I agree with Toby and Anthony, to be honest. I weren't confident going.
I think she's
Can you guys hear me?
We'll come back to Tanya. Oh no,
I can hear you. I can hear Tanya.
Oh, sorry, guys. Oh, I was just saying that I agree with the boys. Going into the game, I wasn't confident anyway, because City were on a high and our confidence was pretty much on the floor. And as much as Toby, like you say, he went with Sanchez and Dyer, he's tried Rodon and Dyer. He's tried every single, defensive combination. So at this point, it doesn't matter who you throw in. We're just going to make the same mistakes. And it's easy to just blame Jose, but at the end of the day, we've got to get rid of this back line. I keep saying it. Until they go, we are not going to improve as a team. It's just as simple as that. But I still think Jose's approach is wrong. I think his management skills isn't right for us. And I do think a new manager, I don't know who that manager will be, will do a better job than what Jose's doing at the moment. That's just my opinion.
Yeah, it just seems like there is definitely a man management issue going on, regardless of if that's like the main issue. But for me, it's not okay to just, blame every player and not take any responsibility for yourself. I mean, the way we're approaching games for me is like KJ, Midnight Vibes, we all know KJ. Like what he said, said, I would rather go on the front foot. If I would rather be made to look like a fool than a coward. And it's, for me, I would rather look like a fool than a coward, because if we're losing, why would I want to lose acting like I'm scared of every team? And this is the way we're playing right now. And to me, it's just not okay.
But you know what? To play devil's advocate on that though, because I was saying this, I was discussing this with Fuad midweek. I'm his biggest critic. I don't want him in the job. I still think we need to get rid of him, but I can't look at that game on Saturday and give a big slice of the blame towards him. Same way I can't look at the game against Everton and give a big slice of the blame to him. Like I feel like both games you saw a contrast. The Everton game, you saw how we want Spurs to play, and I feel like the Man City game, you saw how maybe we should try and approach some matches when we're playing against superior opposition, i.e. trying to stay compact and then breaking where possible. But the one constant remained the same across both games, which is that these players are just brain dead, like just mistakes. And honestly, even if and when he does go in the summer, we need to at least start clearing out some of these players as well, because I get it. Man management plays a big part. I've been screaming that all season, and I still think it does. I still think a better manager can get more out of this team. But on the flip side, we have so much dead wood in this team that are just not good enough, and we've literally given them chance after chance after chance after chance after chance. How many more chances are we going to give them? Enough is enough now. Like if he goes, I want to see a mass exodus behind him. It can't just be Jose Mourinho and a new manager.
100%.
It needs to be he goes, and so does, I don't know, 7, 8, 9 of these players. We're not going to do it all in one window, but if you start as you mean to go on and just start chopping away at it, because fundamentally there's literally an anchor. So many anchors that are pulling this team down, and it's the same core group of players over and over again.
The only thing I will say about the approach against Everton and then the flip to approach against City, for me, it's going to take some coaching. You can't go from one extreme to another. That to me, that is going to take coaching. You can't go from playing pragmatic football for 3-4 weeks and then all of a sudden you want to play attacking. Of course, we're going to leak goals. You got to work this into this team. So for me, he is still at fault for what happened against Everton, because you can't go from literally flipping. It's like he hasn't found a tactical identity yet, in my opinion. We're still trying to work it out.
Yeah.
Because
he ain't got players. As Toby said, we're going to keep repeating. He ain't got the players. At Chelsea, I hated playing Mourinho's Chelsea. But Chelsea, Terry, Carvalho, Makelele, Drogba, Lampard, Joey Cole, Damien Duff. These are proper players. Who have we got? Well, we went 1-0 down to Wickham, man. 1-0 down. We nearly were at the Europa League in the qualifiers, because you've got brain-dead players all blaming each other. He has tried everything. And as I said when we first started talking, no matter who you get in charge, you're still gonna have the crap. Excuse my French, because they're not football mentality. Mourinho said in the documentary, when I played Tottenham, I would beat you in the first minute because you didn't have that. And he's right. He is right.
Yeah, he is right.
Apart from when I sang He's Not Special Anymore at Wembley, which was great, by the way.
But listen, we're all applauding the Everton game, 5-4. But at the end of the day, we're out of a cup. I don't condone that.
No, I don't.
30 years, man. I was 9 years old when we last won the FA Cup. It's a disgrace. No matter, Poch used to throw it away. Let's have it right. Poch didn't give it his all. Let's have it right. I went to Colchester and I saw £100 million players on the pitch not trying for the manager. Do you see what I'm saying? The bottom line is to top of the board, and it's the bottom of the squad. The in between, as I said, you can have anyone.
Yeah, you know it's 100%. The players are not playing for the badge, which to me is disgraceful anyway. You're playing for Tottenham Hotspur, you're not playing for the badge. You should be shipped out. They're definitely, if you don't want to play this style, then you're not playing for Tottenham. And then for me, this is when players and manager needs to start making a move. Now, moving on to players, because we tend to do a lot of talking about Jose Mourinho on this podcast, and I feel like the players need to get blasted today. 100%. I'm ready to blast these players.
1,000,000%.
But moving on to one player that I do want to mention is Lloris. Now, it's sort of dividing our club now, so I'm just wondering, what does everyone think about Lloris? I'll go to Anthony first. I feel like, what do you think we need to cash in, or not cash in, but get rid?
Yeah, listen, he's obviously he's from body language wise, he's not really enjoying it. You can tell that he's got idiots in front of him making mistakes, and it's going to cause him to make silly mistakes. So the blame comes to him. So if his eyes are going to PSG, I'd cash in on him now and go and get Nick Pope from Burnley, mate. Proper stopper, mate. Proper shot stopper. Sorry,
the only thing I'll say about Lloris is that I just think that we've got worse problems in the squad. I do agree. I think Nick Pope, 100%. Nick Pope. I would put him as our replacement for Lloris, but I just don't think the defense has helped Lloris in a way. I think it kind of like nerves him a little bit, and I just don't think he gives him confidence. He hasn't got that good, stable back line in front of him to give him that extra bit of protection. Yeah. But look, Lloris, I called him Hugo Goalkeeper on my podcast because in these past couple of games, he's just been an absolute disgrace. No, he has.
You know what? He has. And the thing is, but there was one thing you mentioned that I do agree with. I don't think Lloris is that much of an issue that it needs addressing immediately when you compare the other issues in our team. I'm not excusing his disaster class. In fact, his disaster class month, because it's been like 4 matches in a row where he's been horrendous. But I think on the flip side as well, we as Spurs fans, we have to appreciate like that prior to that mistake that he made against, I think it was either Palace or it was Liverpool, whichever. He was one of the best keepers in the league this season. I feel like every season he goes through this spell. Last season it was, I'm not sure if you lot remember it. He had that horrendous mistake against Danny Ings at home against Southampton, and then we go away to Brighton. mistake for the first goal, and then he breaks his arm for the second
His
goal.
arm, yeah.
Oh
Like,
gosh, yeah.
The thing is, when it rains, it pours for Lloris. Like he's an Everton goalkeeper. But what I'm saying is, in world football nowadays, it's hard. It's easy to say, oh yeah, get rid of Lloris now. But I promise you, if you analyze other goalkeepers' games to the nth degree, the way we analyze Lloris, because we watch him week in, week out, they're making mistakes as well. It's just they're not making mistakes on a high profile basis. And Lloris, for me, I always look at it this way: does his mistakes outweigh all the good work he's done for us? For me, this season, his good outweighs his bad massively. Last season, the good outweighs the bad massively. Season before that, the good outweighs the bad.
Absolutely.
I get what you're saying, though. He's like 34 years old. Ideally, even if he wasn't making the mistakes, you should be looking for a successful plan anyway. But for me, this summer, Lloris is not the player. I'm not. Go on, Anthony. Sorry.
Oh, was he frozen?
No, sorry, Toby. I'm coming to what you're saying. I think for now, though, I think you need because he's out, right? As you say, he's 34. He probably wants to go and retire in Paris, in his home country, be with Poch, PSG, blah blah blah, lovely jubbly. You've got
Me too.
You've got a like. What's that?
I said, can I be with Poch?
Listen, Poch FC people, please, enough now. Like, please,
oh no,
please.
No, it's fine. Moving on.
Listen, we didn't win anything. Don't get me started on that now. Yeah, you want to go down that?
Here we go.
Oh no.
Here we go.
Listen. We got to the Champions League final and a VAR decision. Anyway, that's another story, right? That's another pod. But what I'm trying to say is, with Lloris, he looks like he wants to go. So bring in some new blood. That's not a problem. You need a bit of competition. If he stays, great. But you do need a younger, up-and-coming keeper. For me, as we said, Nick Pope fits that bill.
Yeah, he's a perfect replacement, to be honest.
And I feel like that's a good shout as well. Like I never really, because I always think about it like, who are these? Well, everyone says get rid of Lloris, but who are these keepers that are actually attainable that we can get that will come in and will actually be an immediate upgrade? And Nick Pope is one of the few names I feel like that's realistic. But I imagine Burnley will charge us. Burnley will ask for a lot of money for him as well, considering he's English and he's a very good goalkeeper as well. But generally, if we are going to replace Lloris, I want it to be for someone like that, because and what I want fans to understand is that every single goalkeeper makes mistakes. Like it's just sad that Lloris just snowballs into one period where he just looks like the worst keeper on earth. But I promise you, he's not. He's not.
I totally agree. I think if he had a better defense in front of him, obviously things are not going to get to him as much. The problem is when keepers do make mistakes, it tends to be a goal. It tends to be a goal conceded because it's a keeper at the end of the day. So you do notice it more. But I just think that go on.
No, I'm saying, prime Yang, prime Toby, prime Walker, prime Rose, nothing's going through him. Do you understand what I'm saying? So, as you said, the bottom line is them four idiots in front of him, whoever they are, 100%. Every now and again, they just chop and change.
Let's go on to Sanchez, because I have always...
Let's not, please.
We all day.
Honestly...
I've defended him and defended him. I
never have defended him.
I've always been a critique of him, and I feel like there have been fans that have been really on me. Like they've been like, "Why? He's one of our best centre backs. He just hasn't had a chance. He's quick. Like I get, he's got pace. What? But for me, people have been saying that. Maybe not after City, but before City.
I'm done.
Toby, since you've defended him in the past, has he changed your opinion now?
Yeah. Like, I'm done. And the thing is, this season, it's not even like, it's just a Man City game for me. He has been diabolical this season. He has been diabolical. It takes some feet to be worse than Eric Dyer. He's been worse than Eric Dyer this season. And I've ignored it.
Yes.
I saw this guy in his first season. That looked like a good centre back. You're 24 years old. You got all the attributes. But Man City was the final straw. I can't take it anymore. How many times can you forgive someone for making dumb and repetitive mistakes? He keeps doing it. He's so easy to play against, and it doesn't make sense because
that's the problem.
he's strong, he's fast, and yet the way he plays, it's an oxymoron. How can you be so good physically and yet you're so bad defensively? Like,
he doesn't have a brain. He doesn't have a brain. He's got no football IQ. I'm sorry. He's one of
any ball that goes over the top of his head.
Oh, he doesn't like to jump aerially. He's terrible.
Forget about it. Any time a ball goes behind his head, he's done. I'm not sure if you remember it. Last season, first game of the season, I remember watching it in Ibiza. We were 1-0 down to Aston Villa. 1-0 down to Aston Villa, and the first goal was literally an easy ball over the top. All you have to do is just head it, boot it away. He looks, doesn't think, doesn't clear the ball, and then someone latches onto it, gives it to McGinn. McGinn smashes in 1-0. Like, and we've seen it time and time again from this guy. My friends keep calling me a Sanchez apologist. I'm not an apologist anymore. I'm done. I'm done defending him. I'm out.
You're over. You bowed out. You bowed out. Anthony, do you have anything to add about Sanchez? Because I'm sure you're not happy with him either.
No, not at all. I mean, you know, we spent, as you know, we spent near on 42, 43 million on him.
What a joke.
I thought there was other better defenders out there. He's been here 3.5 years now. He hasn't developed. Unfortunately, it's time to move on. And you're going to take a loss on him. Because people have seen what he's about. As Tobe said, you knock the ball over the top. He's dreamland. Bang, he's in. So
every time
you got to look at the bottom line is you've got to look at yourself. The players that we're going to name, do they get into the top 6 or 7 side?
No, they don't.
For me, I do this a lot.
Not a chance. Exactly, not a chance. When you got I've been laughed at. I got laughed at last year by Spurs fans because Spurs fans. We all have this little snobbery about us, which is fine. I said, what about John Stones? I said, he's not in the City team. Nah, bro, we're too good for John Stones, bro. I went, we're too good for John Stones.
I was one of those fans. I was one of those fans. I didn't rate John Stones at all. I still don't really rate him that much now. But our defenders are just bad.
But you put him with a good defender. I mean, I'm just going to throw a name out there. Sergio Ramos came, right, to Spurs, okay, on a 18-month contract. You telling me he's going to take that crap from that defence that we've got? No way. So you've got someone with a brain and someone that's young and energetic. And I think we need a couple of old kids in there. You see what I'm saying? And I want these new players, whoever they may be, I'd rather them come Premier League and hit the ground running because gone are the days now of, you've got to let him settle, you know, he doesn't understand about playing over Christmas and he's all upset and he's homesick and I need for my club, I'm sure like you guys, I need someone to hit the ground running tomorrow. You see what I'm saying? Like James Tarkowski, Vestergaard. I'm not saying they're well beaters, but they know the Premier League.
Yeah, they just do a job. They do a job.
Yeah, this is the thing.
Yeah.
Tanya, do you want to add anything on Sanchez right now? Because I know you seem done with him already.
I was done with him from ages ago because he just makes the same mistakes. He doesn't learn. But then that's the argument where we can blame the players for making the same mistakes. But the example I always use, if I'm at work and I keep making the same mistakes, is it down to me or is it actually down to, say, my line manager to give me the right coaching, to give me the right mentoring, to not make the same mistakes? So I don't know. Is Ledley King? I mean, he's a quality defender. What's he doing with these players? I don't know. But for me, I think Sanchez is uncoachable. That's it. He's just he's terrible. We need to just, like Anthony said, accept a loss and move on because he's absolute crap.
This is the problem with Daniel Levy. We know he doesn't like to accept losses. So if he's going to put him up, he's going to be very, very hard to sell on because he's not going to like to be called, oh, I'm going to take a 20-30 million pound loss on him because I don't know what we can sell him for. What will it be? It's not going to be even 30 or it's going to probably be 20,
15 to 20 million maybe.
15, I can't see us getting more than that.
There's a lot of average in this squad and I feel like he's one of the below average. Like for me, average tends to be like a Sissoko. You're average. You're not great, but you're average. Winks is a bit below average for me. I mean, I'm Anthony, because I got blasted last season for saying I'm not a huge Winks fan, and I was blasted for it. And
I still like him, but he's not good enough for us.
No, not good enough. Not good enough.
Go on, Anthony.
No. Where do I start? I can't hack him. I don't care if you've been there since you 10 years old, my friend. You ain't good enough. You ain't good enough. You came on the other night. You are the freshest legs. The first thing you do, you get the ball in the middle of the park and you give it away. And that shot from that corner summed him up. Bless him. God love him, right? I'm sure he's a lovely bloke, and I'd love to meet him and have a beer. But unfortunately, you're not good for this. You ain't good enough. So maybe go to Burnley and give us Nick Pope.
Listen, Anthony's hit the nail on the head. And again, I feel like I'm way too sympathetic when it comes to Spurs players. Like I like to give Spurs players way too much time to prove to me that they're not good players. Like it took me so long to accept that Lamela is just downright awful. But players like Winks, Lamora, Dyer,
Davies. Oh my God.
Oh yeah. Well, Davies is not even.
We literally have around. No, like people. Sometimes, of course, there's a lot of hyperbole on Twitter and whatnot. But like all this time, I used to think people were overgassing when they said, "Yeah, like we genuinely have like 10, 11 players who aren't good enough." But you literally have to wake up and smell the coffee. We actually have 10 or 11 players that are not good enough to play for us. And I don't mean, come on. They're not good enough to come into this team, handle the pressure, and do a job. They can't do it. They can't do it.
Look at the Wickham game the other week.
It's embarrassing.
It is.
Look at the Wickham game. It's embarrassing. And that's a Premier League squad without Kane and Son. They had to come on and save the day with a double. Come on, man. They're not. If they can't beat Wickham, I'm sorry.
They're not that bad. That's definitely.
No, they are.
No,
I think they
are. I think some of them are.
They are. It's not that they're worse than Wickham, Eleanor. And the thing is, it's not that some of them necessarily aren't like the worst players, but for what we need them to do, for the level we need them to play at, they're not good enough. Even Ali as well. I said Ali should be getting game time from now to
me too.
But he's not. He was dropped for a reason. He shouldn't be playing week in, week out. He was dropped for a reason because he was playing every game and he was inconsistent. And we have too many of these nice players who will come and give us something one week, will drift and be invisible for the next couple of weeks. And we just need, right now, need momentum and consistency. And what's the point having such a big squad if we can't call upon these players to come in and do a job?
But that's why I prefer, I want us, right? Sorry, I was just going to say, I don't know why we don't turn to our youngsters. Where's our youngsters? I'm not being funny. Davis at left back, right? You mean to tell me Dennis Sirkin can't do a better job?
Oh, yeah.
Or one of our academy players? I'm sorry, but it's just a joke. I'm sick and tired of Ben Davis now. Sorry, go on, Anthony.
35. With 30, see, I was about to say a couple of things, but you've made some great points. 35 million, okay? Ryan Sessegnon, Jack Clark. Where are they?
Yeah.
On loan.
Yeah, exactly.
So Ryan Sessegnon. All right,
do you know who else we need?
He can't do any worse. He can't do any worse than Davis.
Yeah, exactly.
You go and loan him out. He's mad at a match every day.
100%.
I do think on the flip. I do think on the flip side,
I just want to throw it out there.
Go on.
Yeah, sorry. A little thing. I was talking to a pal of mine last night, and we were talking about the Amazon documentary. There's one comment that Danny Rose said, right? And he said to Mourinho, and I'm sure you saw it. He went, "I'm putting my all in training, and there's some players there that are not, and they're still playing. I wonder who them players are, because I can name about 3 or 4 probably."
Yeah. He
very
needs
interesting point.
It is, and
No
do you know
matter
what
you
it
think
is?
of Rose, sorry.
No, it's true. About what we think of Rhodes, he to me is the only one that says it how it is. He called out our board ages ago saying we don't sign enough established players. For me, he says exactly what the fans think. Maybe not a player should be saying that. That's opinion based. No. For me, he's done everything right. For me, for him to say the things that I want our legends to say, I want our legends to call out our board. People like, I don't know, Mickey Hazard, people like, they're not, no one's sitting here and is saying what the issues are. They're not sitting here saying, Enoch, Lewis and Levy, you're not investing. Whereas any Man United or any City legend, any of their legends, they call them out. They get called out.
Yeah, our fans are too soft. That's why I think this summer, I'm telling you now, it's the last straw for me. I'm going to go riot. I'm telling you that now because I think 100%. Us Tottenham fans, let's be honest, we've put up with a lot of crap now for a long, long time. 100%. And enough is enough, right? If I don't see some of these players out in the summer, I'm rioting. Yeah. I don't care. Clip it now. I'm rioting.
But you know 100%. What it is? What annoys me as well is when people say we need to sell to buy. No, we don't. We have money. Our owners have money. They just refuse to spend it. No, they refuse to spend it. That's not the point. They refuse to spend it. We're not a poor club. We just refuse to spend the money. Yeah, and I just don't have any patience for people that like to tell me Enoch has done this and this and this. I understand we were in a very bad position under Sugar. I get that. I'm not trying to say we weren't. We're in a very bad position under Sugar. But we everything they've invested in is on the outside looking in. They never invest on the pitch because there's no profit involved. Yeah. They invest everything else because when they sell it on, they know they'll get profit. If it goes onto the pitch, they're not.
But the thing is, and again, playing devil's advocate here, because I've told you already, I'm not Enoch. I'm not fully Enoch out, but I'm not Enoch in either. Like, I can appreciate the good work they've done for us, but I can see the shortcomings. And for me, distinctly over the last 5 years, stadium aside, it's always been one step forward with Enoch, 2 steps back.
Yeah.
But what I will say about that stadium, and I know everyone says, "Oh, enough about the bleeding stadium," blah blah. What I will say about that stadium is that infrastructure is in place to allow us, when there's a normal world, to spend closer to what our rivals are spending. Because if you look at the money that the stadium generated within a year of us being there, if you look at the money within a few months being there in comparison to previous seasons, I remember, I think our total spend in last season, including summer and January, was around 160 million, and I think we made back something like 58 million or something like that. So that's over 100 million net spend. That's something that we've not seen from Spurs ever. And I get it. The Champions League money helped with that, but so did the fact that we're able to generate more money from this ridiculous infrastructure that they've put in place. However, for me, they were able to take a risk this summer with Jose Mourinho. They never took that risk with Pochettino. In moments where we could have done something major, they never took the risk. Right. And the thing is, they're risk averse. They're risk averse. They will only put their hands into their pockets when we're literally on the brink, as we were last summer. And that's my beef with Enoch. When I say 1 step forward, 2 steps back. And I also think our scouts and our transfer approach.
Yeah, I was going to say that, Tobe.
Useless.
The recruitment's terrible.
Can we just explain why did Paul Mitchell leave? He left because Daniel Levy was always saying, "Okay, let's not look at him. Who's younger and cheaper?" So to me, he still is the main issue because you drove out our best recruitment that we had. He's now gone to Leipzig and created a great team.
I just think with them, like Daniel Levy said a lot of stuff. When after that stadium was open, he spoke about wanting to move differently, and we saw that to a certain extent initially with Ndombele, Celso, all of these players that we signed. But because of the damage that you did in the previous seasons with not signing anyone, the rot had already set in. As well as it wasn't enough, and we needed.
They should have done that 3 seasons ago. It's too late. It's too late.
We needed more, and his answer to that was to get a finished Jose Mourinho instead of signing proper players.
To be fair, Poch. No, you're right, Todd. You're right. Listen, I'll talk about Poch, but to be fair, what he said, that in that Gary Lineker interview, which I'll come back to, is you can have a beautiful house, but if you ain't got good furniture, what's the point? So I think that was his sort of way of saying, "Come on, boys, I need the tools now. I need the tools to work with, and you're giving me rubbish, but I have to work with it." it's a bit of both. Now, you're talking about recruitment. Now, a club that I respect, all right, I don't necessarily adore, but I respect, is Leicester City.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes.
Proper club. Yeah. Wesley Fofana, James Justin, even Johnny Evans. Everyone said he was old and over the hill, but he's still playing, still proving. James Maddison, Yuri Tillemans. These are players that are not necessarily superstars, but the way they play football, the way Brendan Rodgers have got on playing football is unbelievable. Look where they are in the league. It don't lie. But
that's
it's
so
in black and white.
frustrating.
What can't speak can't lie.
To me, it's just recruitment. Not only is it, so everyone says, you can spend money on duds. I don't deny that. We can spend a lot of money on duds, but we need better recruitment. Yeah. We have done, but City, for example, they spend money on duds, but then they have the money to then go, oh, don't worry about that one. We'll just go get another one. Not everyone has that money, so we need a better recruitment service, structure. And we did have a better recruitment. We had it under Paul when we had Paul Mitchell here. Yeah, do you know what? That's when we got Son. That's when we got Eric Dyer at his peak when he was great for us as a DM. This is when we got Dele Alli, and it shows when we did get those players and we had that 2017 firing team. We had a great recruitment service behind them. The problem is for me is when our best recruiter came out and said my dream job turned into a nightmare because Daniel Levy wouldn't let me recruit the players I wanted, and then they went to Leipzig and look what he's done there with their money. It just shows to me that we have a problem at Tottenham and it's rotting from the top. And I don't deny that. I'm not a Jose Mourinho fan. You all know this. But for me, it's timing and money with him. We should have got him at 2017 when we were flying high and we had the prime team. We would have won stuff. Or we give him a huge transfer budget now, and that's not going to happen under ENIC. And so the timing is just crazy. And
this is why I didn't get the whole logic of getting. I'm gonna stick the knife in when I can. Getting a finished Mourinho because
doesn't make any sense.
This is a guy who, at the peak of his powers, he needed funds. So what on earth do you think that a half as good Mourinho is gonna need? He's gonna need funds and then some. So I didn't understand. It was very.
The appointment is weird to me.
Yeah, and this is what I was thinking. Short term answer to a long term problem. That's what I don't like. That's what I don't like with ENIC. They saw the light. Daniel Levy, he saw the lights. He saw the possible power play and ambition, the ambitious move to try and get a name as big as Mourinho. And
I also think it's an ego thing. He wanted him back when he was at Chelsea, so he decided to say, "Oh look, I finally got you."
Don't get it twisted. Like COVID, of course, plays its part. No one expected COVID to be the way it is, so we'll never know if Daniel Levy was gonna give Jose this war chest last summer. But fact of the matter is, in January we were bleeding. We were bleeding in January when last season when Jose was there, and they bring in Gedson Fernandez and Bergwijn. We were happy about Bergwijn, but you sell Ericsson, you don't bring anyone else in. You don't bring a centre back in. You know that we were bleeding at the back as well, and you bring in Gedson Fernandez. He couldn't even start.
That's the problem. We replaced players far too late. Look at Reguilon. We should have had him ages ago.
Yeah.
We should have had Ndombele ages ago. We should have had all of these players ages ago, and it's too late.
This is the thing that I've found with our squad. I totally agree. I just wanted to add something. I just want to say, when our players are in our prime, we never add when they're in our prime. So then when they start to drop off, that's when we add, and it's like they're now dropping off. We've now added these players in, and then by the time we add more, them players are going to drop off. So we never have the finished article all around the pitch, which I think is a huge problem. And I just feel like the general problem does start with ENIC, but right now we do need to cut our losses with Mourinho, in my opinion, because we just got him at the wrong time with the wrong backing.
But who are we getting? I don't know who we're getting now. That's the problem, because
he's not here for long term anyway. He's not here to outlast ENIC anyway. So all this, who we're going to get is the problems at the board. Jose Mourinho ain't going to last these lot anyway. So I don't know why we're having this conversation. We know what he's about.
It's a genuine question because I know a lot of people like Nagelsmann. I love Nagelsmann, but is he going to want to come to Tottenham? I don't think so.
I feel like we've got more luck getting like a Hasenhüttl, but I feel like we're more luck getting a Hasenhüttl or someone like that. And not that is the top draw, but what I'm saying is we do need to realise that Jose Mourinho isn't the answer right now. We've got bigger problems than Jose Mourinho, and he's here to get trophies and win things quickly. I feel like if we got him in 17-18 when we were flying with that prime team, we would have won big things. And that's not that I feel like everyone thinks I hate the man. I'm saying, let's say we got him then. We would have been flying. We would have won everything. The appointment, the timing of the appointment doesn't make sense. If you think he's finished or not, the timing doesn't make sense because of the check. We don't have the checkbook to give a checkbook manager or the team that he wants. So it just doesn't make sense to me.
I just want us, and this is where we need proper direction from the top to trickle down right to the bottom. I don't want, because the thing is with fans, I feel like we're split. It's either
we are.
It's all the manager's fault, and the players hide behind the manager. The players hide their inadequacies behind the manager, or it's all the players' faults and the manager hides his inadequacies behind the players. It can be both. It can be both.
Yeah,
and teams are ultimately responsible for both aspects. So they need to rectify both aspects starting this summer. I don't know about you. I don't know about you, Tanya. I don't know about you, Eleanor, but I want him gone. I want the manager gone.
I want him gone.
So
I get blasted.
I want both gone. I want both gone.
Who comes in now? Tobes, who comes in, mate? Who comes in and fixes our problem? That's what I'm saying.
We need to start again. This is the point. We need to rebuild again. We don't have the team for a winning manager. So regardless of what you think of him, we don't have the team. So we need to start again.
It's not even about the team. It's about the mess that we're in. Jose Mourinho, for me, isn't a real rebuilding manager. That's not what he's there for. He doesn't have that experience. Poch, look at what he did. He came in and we had all of them rubbish players and he cleared out the squad. All of them players, right? And he got the best out of the players that he had. Jose Mourinho, he's finished as far as he's not going to do that.
He is finished, but there was good recruitment behind Poch, which that also needs to be rectified at course.
My thing is this: like people keep saying, "Oh, who can we bring in? Who can we bring in?" Yeah, we need to press the reset button and go back to the
reset. Yeah,
no, it's true. Press the reset button and go back to the same method of the same method of thinking that got us to hire a manager like Pochettino. Because for me, fundamentally, I don't care about of course, we want a manager who's experienced. I don't want us to go and get out like an Eddie Howe or something. But we want a manager who's got experience at the very highest level. And fundamentally, we want a manager who can actually coach these players. He's used to getting the maximum out of these football players, and he's used to playing an adaptable system. Not just one size fits all.
No.
Go on.
Yeah. But what I'm trying to say is we've all been Spurs fans all our life, right? I don't know everyone's ages, so please excuse me, yeah? But the bottom line is we've tried every time manager. We've had Harry Redknapp, arm around his shoulder. You're playing, boy. You played some good football. Martin Yole, the same, arm around his shoulder. We had AVB, Mr. Personality, no personality at all. We've had who else have we had? Jack Santini, I've never seen him since. I don't think even he was a
One day Ramos as well.
What was I trying to say?
Ramos, yeah.
One day Ramos. Last time we won a cup. That's all I'm going to say. Right? That's
we were also nearly relegated, but right? Sure.
But you see what I'm saying? This is what I mean. Like every time we won a cup, our form's been terrible. But where do we go? Do we go young to build them up, or do we go someone that's been there, done it, like I don't know, Allegri, who's never put in the Premier League. Benitez again.
We need serious damage control.
He's going to play boring football.
I don't know.
And we need to go with what's, for me, we need to go with what's working in this current football climate. And if you look in every single league, the managers who are winning, the managers who are dominating world football right now, they are playing a progressive style of football, and they are able to mix it up, and they are able to maximize every single player at the disposal. Yes, they need funds. Yes, they need backing, but ultimately they are exhibiting their coaching skills to good effect. And right now, it sounds crazy to say it, but we have a manager who has arguably one of the best brains in world football, and he can't do the things that they can do. And that's my issue now. That's why for me, we've tried this whole winner thing. We've tried a proven winner. It remains to be seen whether he'll win a trophy this season. But for me, even if he wins a trophy, we can see it as fans. We've had it as fans. He ain't it.
Yeah, he ain't.
For me,
he ain't our answer. He ain't our answer. He was supposed to be the sellotape.
So for me, we need something different. And it's the same way we took a risk getting him in the first place. Take a risk trying to get one of these younger progressive managers to come in and actually take on the task of rebuilding this team, because that's what we need right now. We need a serious rebuild. We've spoken about 10 or 11 players that aren't good enough. That's not going to change overnight. We need a manager to come in, do what Pochettino did. He got rid of so many players in his first season, then second season, then third season, until he actually had a group of players that were perfect for him. And then all we needed on top of that was added investment that he didn't get. That's what we need to go back to.
Jose isn't the man for that. He isn't the man to start rebuilding a team. He's not here for the long term. I think he overestimated this team when he came in. We had just made a Champions League final. It looked like Poch was the problem. You know, he lost the dressing room after that final. You know, the comments he said. That's what it looked like. So I think he just genuinely overestimated the team, thought he could do something that he just couldn't do. It's a bigger job than what he originally thought. And I feel like we just need to hold our hands up and say, we've made a mistake. And I feel like that's what's needed. Now, a player that I do want to speak about, because I'm not sure everyone's opinions on him, is, do you think Lo Celso coming back would make a difference? For me, he's not done enough in numbers-wise, stats-wise. He's not actually providing with assists. Not only do I love him on the pitch, I do think he does a lot pre the assist, but we need that creative midfielder, like the Eriksen player that is going to create. Anthony, what's your thoughts on Lo Celso? Do you think he's going to create a big difference when he comes in?
Was he frozen?
I think so.
Yeah, he's frozen.
To me, Lo Celso. Am I frozen? Can you hear me?
No,
you're a bit slow, but it's fine.
Sorry, Lo Celso is a weird one for me. I've not seen enough of him, because he plays one game and he's out for 6 months. So I don't know. I don't know much about. Listen, when he has played, all right. Is he the answer? No. Is he a good squad player? Yes. For me, I want a creative midfielder. I want someone like maybe a Sabitzer to come in, ruffle up a few feathers. We haven't got a free kick taker. You know, we haven't got a set piece taker. James Ward-Prowse. I mean, I'm not saying he's the answer, but someone of his ilk.
Perfect replacement for Winks.
Well, I think Skip for me will be a good replacement for Winks.
Oh yeah. I mean, I'm not even going to go against Bo, but this is what I'm saying. Let's give Skip time. Everyone's going on this skip under the match. Skip. Let's give him time. Let him come back into the squad, because I know what we're like as fans, babe. He's gonna have one poor game, and we're gonna be on his back. It's what we do. You see what I'm saying? Because the passion's there. If he has a bad game, he's rubbish, man. He did all right at Norwich, but Norwich and Spurs are two different teams.
Yeah.
I like a Todd Campbell for Norwich.
Oh yeah.
I like him. Quality player, yeah.
What I'm trying to say is, I like him a lot, quality. But what I'm trying to say is, we need players that know the Premier League. All right, if you go out and get someone from a different country, fine. Maybe to sell shirts and a bit of a good name, absolutely. But I want people that know the Premier League now, so they can hit the ground running come August, because I can't be giving players time. But it does my head in.
Yeah, I think just to dovetail on that point as well. I do like Lo Celso. I think he's a good player on his day, but I totally agree with Anthony. I think he's not done enough in his first career for us to have any for us to have any real confidence in him to come in and do what we need him to do. And even with him playing at his maximum, it was always evidently clear that we needed another player in addition to him to come into that team, not only to give him competition, but to give us the creativity that we're missing from Eriksen. And like Anthony said, to give us a direct threat outside the box when it comes to shooting, when it comes to set pieces, etc. We simply don't have that type of player in midfield anymore. So I feel like him being out for so long, he'll be a very much welcome, like a big boost back into our team, because I mean, the players that we have now are getting through so much football. So I feel like he comes in, he adds that drive, he adds that ball carrying presence as well. But what we need him to do is we need him to start delivering in the final third as well. He cost almost 50 million. We didn't buy you here to be this weird injury-prone squad player. We bought you here to come in.
He's kind of reminiscing Lamella. He's kind of reflecting Lamella right now.
Injury record-wise, he is. And the thing is, he never used to pick up injuries before he came to Spurs. Spurs curse. But ultimately,
of course,
what I want to see from him, what I want to see from him when he comes back isn't just just numbers. I want to see consistency. Because even at times when he was fit during the restart last year, he was invisible in some matches. Passing was poor. His ability to run games was bad as well. So I just want to see some refinement in your game and consistency. He's still young. He's still got talent, and he's a good player on his day. So for me, I'm gonna give him the benefit of the doubt for now. We need him to step up.
No, I agree. Yeah, I told you, I'm with you, mate. I'm with you. But as I said, I can't sit here and warrant him to be a natural starter straight away.
Listen,
100. I'm not the manager. I don't get paid 12 million a year. But what I'm trying to say is that I'll tell you another player who's my signing of the season, and that's Pierre-Emile Højbjerg.
Yeah, he's
For
great.
me,
he's amazing.
Needs to be Spurs captain. Needs to be Spurs captain.
Yeah.
The last 2 games. The last 2 games, he's been sucked. Spurs have sucked him big time. Has not been big time.
100%.
You know, I thought he was going to come in, which he had. Spurs are just. Oh, you got confidence. Let's suck that out of you. You got any mentality. Let's suck that out of you. And now he's proven with 2 silly mistakes that he made. He never made one mistake.
He's also just been run into the ground. He's having to play every game.
He's knackered.
Exactly.
He's knackered. Yeah.
Tanya, what's your thoughts on the Celso? Are you the same? Like, do you think he's not like he's not? For me, it's the same sort of thing that Toby said with Dele. Don't sit here and hope he's the answer, because he's not going to be the answer to solving all our problems. And I feel like fans tend to do that. Like, they tend to put all their hopes in a player that's not around right now. So what are your general thoughts?
I just think with Lo Celso, it's unfortunate. Like Toby said, he does lack consistency, but I just think the injuries haven't helped with that. But I do want to see more in terms of output from Lo Celso. But I do think we miss him. I think we just need players now. We need the squad. Yeah. I think he'll be a good addition on the bench. You know, Ndombele's getting, worked off the ground at the moment. So is Højbjerg. So I think he'll be good in that sense, but we need to see more from him. But he's still young. But that goes back to what Anthony's saying. I'm sick of these players. We constantly have to keep waiting. I'll give him another season or 2, Just keep the ground running. Do a Bruno Fernandes. Have that instant impact,
Well, we could have got Bruno Fernandes on board. Actual ambition. So anyway.
For another 10 million, you agree.
Do you know what? It's not even like we went cheap on Lo Celso. It's just poor recruitment. It's just poor recruitment. Like, considering that we had Bruno waiting, personally. We could have had Jack Grealish, for example. That is something I'll never forgive. I'll never forgive you before.
I'm not even gonna lie. I'm gonna put my hands up. At the time, I thought 30 million was way too much money for Grealish. But then again, I thought it was way too much. But now, I'd bite your hand off for 30 million.
When he was in the championship, we nearly got it for like 3 million, and then we offered Nkudu and 2 million or 4 million or something.
No, it was
Onuma.
It was Onuma. Yeah.
5 million and Onuma or something.
No, but they wanted 6 and we offered like 4 or something. It was 2 million difference.
See, that's what makes me sick about this board. That kind of thing there. Oh my God, it winds me up. It winds me up, mate.
Yeah, I know.
I'm just very thankful Levy did one thing right and not sell Ndombele. He actually stuck to his guns and told Jose Mourinho, don't be a baby and actually work with him. And I'm very happy he did that because he is beautiful to watch on the ball. He is just a dream.
I think you know what, I'm actually going to disagree with you again on this one, Anthony, as well. Like, I know Lo Celso, he doesn't have any sort of starting berth. Like, he has no right to come into this team and start because he's just not been good enough. But I feel like we're in a needs-must situation now where, like, we actually need him and the likes of Ali to play. We know they're inconsistent. We know that their output have been dodgy, but we need them to play because the alternatives, Lamela or better yet, Lamora, are shocking. I'm not going to stop calling them Lamora. They're shocking.
Anyone, on a positive note, anyone think Bale actually looked like he could do something the other day, or is that just me holding on to straws, like clutching at straws right now? Maybe with a bit of man management, this guy could actually do something.
I don't think Mourinho can do anything more to Bale, though. Like, Bale, if Bale wants to play, Bale will play. And I feel like with him, he owes it to himself and he owes it to us as fans to give us something.
He does. Play for this badge because you're not doing it. Yeah, I get that.
I don't know what you lot's thoughts on him because I've already given up on him. I've checked out.
Have you? I've given up on him. But then I saw that glimmer of hope and I'm like,
do you know what? I think if the fans are in the stadium, I'm with Toby. I'm after Toby. But a part of me is still clutching. I think if the fans were there, it might be a different type of play. But what I've seen has been really, really bad. I mean, you guys have seen the game. It's not been good.
I think I just heard that Harry read that video and I'm like, clutching.
Doesn't that put it into perspective? I know. I think you were going to say something, Tanya, but that puts it into perspective that 15 minutes of him playing decent when we're 3-0 down is like the best thing he's done this season. That puts into perspective how bad he's been.
It's sad. It's sad. It's really sad, to be honest.
I'm on the fence, Gareth. I'm on the fence with Gareth Bale because on the flip side, you could say that when Jose Mourinho has given him an opportunity, he's not shown us anything to say you should definitely start. However, he's not tried him in a different position. And I do think when you're seeing the likes of Bergwijn get in games constantly, when for me, I've not seen enough, give Bale 2 games in a row. Let's see, because I just think sometimes players need confidence. Maybe he's a confidence player. Give him the minutes. Give him the minutes.
I also think it's the style. I think he doesn't want to change his style. He's too set in his way that he will not change it. And he knows Bale can't track back like that. It's just not in his. He's not got the legs for it to be able to do that much work.
That's a good
point. So I just think it doesn't fit in. And he's maybe not even trying him because he won't change. Go on, Anthony. Can you hear me?
And the mad thing is, the ironic thing was, we bought him as a left back when he was 16.
I know, bless him.
It's just crazy.
And then he just moved up to change sides. It's crazy.
But he don't want to.
Go on, Tobes.
He don't want to play anywhere. But Mourinho's even come out and said it. Gareth Bale doesn't want to play anywhere else but right wing. So.
It's all good. Try something else.
But it's Bale that's the one that's saying he doesn't want to play anywhere else. So the thing is, I feel like obviously as a manager, maybe you have to be strong and say, I feel like you can serve a purpose for our team playing this specific role. But I hear Tanya's point that he should get a run of games. I feel like
it's nothing to lose right now.
Yeah, exactly. No one's playing well, so it doesn't really make that much of a difference if it's Bergwijn playing consistently.
Exactly.
But what I will say is though that every single other player apart from Gareth Bale puts in a lot more visible effort on the pitch, whether it's Bergwijn or whether it's Lamora's counter pressing and Lamora's ability to actually press high up the pitch. Look, we saw the success it had against Everton. With Gareth Bale, we get nothing when he's not on the ball, and that's what I don't like about Bale right now.
It's true. There's no off the ball
we got nothing to lose. So, finished or not finished, let him get a couple games and let's see what he's got, man.
It's depressing that we're at that stage.
Yeah, Tobes, can I watch it? Please let me watch a Spurs game with you with Mora and Mella.
He's great.
Please, I just want to sit next to you, man. I just want to sit next to you. You're like me, mate. I throw drinks on the floor and everything, mate.
Oh God!
It's in my head, man.
Honestly, me and my dad, we're terrible. To talk too much about that. We should just get through no matter who we play. If we don't get through the Europa game, he needs to be sacked there and then, to be honest, because we should get through that without even thinking about it.
Eleanor, I'm more worried about Sunday than tomorrow.
Yeah. Same. I'm going to go straight on to Sunday because tomorrow we should just get through no matter who we play. So I'm not really going to think about that. We'll just spend an extra 5 minutes. We've gone a bit over, but it's been a great chat. So we'll just get on to the West Ham game. We haven't been underdogs in the bookies, I'm talking about, since 84-85, and now we are underdogs again. How mad is that to West Ham? That's not happened since 84-85. Round about that time, I'm not sure exactly what year it was, but I'm not going into this game confident. Moyes seem to be doing great with them. I mean,
because
I would have thought a David Moyes.
That's the art of coaching for me, what David Moyes is doing with this West Ham team. Because I'm sorry, I'm not convinced that they're better than us. They're not. I don't think they've got better players than us.
They're not. They haven't got better players.
I totally agree. But I mean, maybe the bigger stage didn't work for David Moyes because we do know what happened to him at United. So I don't know what it was, if it was a mentality thing or he's just got confidence now that he's got a decent group of players actually listening to his instructions, that, you've got to believe in the manager. And I don't know if these West Ham players are just believing in him and just going out and putting everything on the line, but that is the total opposite to what we're doing. And this is why I worry about us under Mourinho, because like you say, I don't believe they've got a better team than us. So why are they going out there? And why am I scared to play West Ham? Ironically, it's our cup final. All of a sudden. Like, from it being theirs, it's like straight away ours. So I'm not going into this game confident. I'm going to go to all of you before we do score predictions. But Anthony, do you have anything to add about this West Ham game?
Well, coming on to what you're saying, I think we are going to give away a mistake. I think what's going to happen is the ball's going to be knocked over. This is what's going to happen. The ball's going to be knocked over. Dyer's going to try and hit it, and it's going to bounce over him. Mikel Antonio is going to Davis, like leave him on the floor. It will cross it, and Yarmolenko hasn't scored all season. Will score against Spurs. Watch.
I mean, it happened. It happened in the 3-3, and for me, that was all.
Lanzini hasn't scored.
And Lanzini hasn't scored in a whole season or something. I got the stat up at the time, and it was like a whole season that he hadn't actually scored, and then he goes scores a worldie. I mean, of course, but for me, that was man management. That was in-game management that went wrong there. We were 3-0 up and comfortable. There is no way you could blame every player when you're flying as well. That was in-game management, and but it's a whole different Tottenham now. We were great then. It was a tough pill to swallow at the time because I felt like we were another stratosphere to them. Whereas now, I think they're pretty much doing better than us. So Toby, anything you want to add about this West Ham game coming up? Dreading.
Yeah, the last time West Ham beat us at their ground, Lanzini scored, and he scored this season. So listen, I'm with Van. I feel like this game is literally like, I know they say, it's a 6-point game. This game is literally a 6-point game because if we lose this, that'll be 6 losses in potentially 8 games, depending on what the result is tomorrow. And that'll be us 9 points behind West Ham, who have an inferior squad, an inferior starting 11. That cannot be.
So who do I look to then? Who do we look to at that point?
We look to the manager and we look to the
manager
players.
And the players,
And the players. So as I said,
but the thing is, their squad isn't better. Are they just not playing for him if that happens?
Exactly, Eleanor. And I feel like that's what happens when you have a manager who knows his players' strengths and weaknesses and can get the very maximum out of their players. David Moyes ain't even a good manager like that. He's not even a good manager.
We saw what he did at United.
But he's thriving right now, and he's found a system that works for him, even with the injuries he's had, because he's had injuries to Masuaku. He's been able to change it up, and he's still been able to churn some consistency out. So for me, Mourinho needs to find a way to motivate these players. Like you're being paid £50 million a year. He needs to find a way to motivate these players and adopt a system to get us the result. I was there last year in his first game. I was there at their ground. And we won that
remember
game.
that was a close game. That
we dominated most of that game, and then we lost it towards the end because it was shocking defending. Where have we seen that before? So it's not just down to Mourinho, it's down to the players as well to show.
But you would think he's here to get some sort of tune out of that defense. 19 months later, we've not seen much change.
But like Anthony said, some of these players are actually uncoachable. Like there's only so much as a manager. Some of the mistakes that we've seen, these aren't down to the fact that they're not being coached properly. These are down to the fact that they're just morons. Absolute morons. So I want to see a reaction from the players, and I want to see a reaction from the manager. Get us 3 points in this London derby. You owe us that.
I agree.
All of them do.
And the thing is, I want to see us on the front foot. From minute one, I want us to be playing attacking and aggressive. From minute one, I do not want to see us, sitting back and letting them dominate. Because I'm telling you, what I am worried about is Antonio. He's going to give our centre-backs a big, big problem. But I just need us to just go for it, man. Go for it. We could win if we just played to our bloody strengths.
And our strengths lie in attack.
Man for man, we have more weapons of mass destruction than they do. We have more weapons at our disposal than they do. Even the duds on our bench, you could make a case for them for some of them getting into West Ham's first 11. So for me, make use of the tools and just hit them. Just go for it, please.
Please,
100%. Do you know what it is? It just shows in that Everton game. I felt like, for me, when I compare the Chelsea game to the Everton game, we had more of a chance getting back into that Everton game than we ever looked.
Is that me or is that?
I don't know. I think Eleanor's frozen.
Yeah.
Hello?
In that Chelsea.
Eleanor's frozen.
Oh no!
Can you see me?
Yeah, we can hear you now.
I'm back. For me, it just shows that the way we approach games means a lot. That Chelsea game to me was like more. We look like we were never going to get into that game. Whereas if we actually attack, for me, we look like we can actually get into games.
That was a poor game.
Oh
yeah, and that Everton game, I felt more confident the way we played. I felt more confident in the way we played against Everton, getting back into that game even with our poor defence, than we ever looked against Chelsea. I don't want to set up for a draw against West Ham. That is not Tottenham Hotspur. This is where the harmonious thing with Jose Mourinho might not work, because that is not what I've watched all my 25 years of living. Like, I have not watched Tottenham Hotspur sit there for draws and be scared of teams. No matter how crap we are, we've gone at teams. And I miss that. I don't want to sell our soul for a league cup, for an energy drink cup. I just don't.
Does anyone know if Reguilon will be back? Because I think we're missing him massively. I don't want to see Ben Davis, man. I really don't.
Anthony, what's your sources telling you? You must have sources. You must have club sources.
No, I'm hearing that Reguilon's 50 of. I'm hearing. I mean, I don't know whether it's true, but he's 50-50 for Sunday, but definitely back for Thursday, like the week
next
after
Thursday.
the return leg.
Well, that's something to hold on to.
It is. But I think Davis is very, very
average, bland.
Well, that as well. But he is dangerously bad. I think on Sunday.
I don't know. I'm just like, he's there. For me, he doesn't do anything
bad.
bad.
He's so bad, Eleanor. He's so bad.
He's dangerously bad.
I think it depends on the system as
with,
well.
With Davis, the thing that's going to scare me about Davis is if you suck him in too tight and you can 1-2 round him, he's gone.
Oh yeah.
He's on his floor.
He gets drawn in so much. He gets drawn out of position so much. It's unreal.
Let me. You lot keep making your point. I'm going to find a photo to show you Ben Davies. One sec. You lot keep talking.
But yeah, I just think that he's just.
Look at that.
Oh well.
Raheem Sterling made a mug out. That's on his Instagram,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
Well, do you know
Wow.
what? Do you know what? They actually switched him. So the thing is, Tanganga was doing quite well. And then they actually switched them because Sterling could outpace Davies, but Tanganga was doing good. So that's why Sterling actually ended up on his side, because he wasn't even playing there. That just shows a lot if Tanganga is doing that much better than you. But we have gone over, so we will round it up here. We'll just do 2 score predictions, one for tomorrow and then obviously the West Ham game. Tomorrow I'm going to go comfortable. I'm going to say 3-1 because I think our defence can leak against anyone. So I'm going to go 3-1, but I think we will, we'll comfortably win. And Sunday, I'm actually going to say 2-1 to West Ham because I just don't see us winning it.
Wow.
I'll go to Tanya next.
Oh, I don't know, man. It just depends what Tottenham turns up. I don't know. It's difficult to predict at the moment. But look, I think we should win that game. I'm gonna go 3-1 as well. Actually, I think we will concede. I can't say we're gonna keep a clean sheet.
Yeah.
Against West Ham. I'm going to go for a Spurs win because it has to be a Tottenham win, 2-1. It has to be. We can't lose that game.
I mean, I'm just so scared of it. But yeah, I'm praying it is 2-1 to us and not them, because that would be embarrassing. Let's go to Anthony. What do you think for these next 2 games?
Is he there?
Yes. I know. I'm with you, girls. I think 3-1 tomorrow. And West Ham's going to be 3-2 to Spurs. 3-2 to Spurs.
I don't know if I can get through that. I can't take it.
I'm telling you, it is going to be 3-2, and we're going to make 2. Listen, I don't care now. I just want the 3 points. I can't have them lot across the road from us in their worst season ever, being 2 points behind us. I can't.
Oh my goodness, it's actually embarrassing, and we've got
a
15 million a year manager.
But people, please, if there's one thing you could do for me, if we never speak again, which I hope is true, is please, I just don't want Spurs fans tweeting at the beginning of the season, mind the gap, because it comes back never on the behind. I can't have it anymore.
No,
it's terrible. No. Toby, you go with your predictions. Go on, it's a depressing time.
The thing is, I'm co-signing Anthony. I think I've said already, I think we'll win 3-1 tomorrow, just because I don't trust that defense to keep a clean sheet. And on Sunday, I'm going to take encouragement from how we played against Everton, the severity of the situation we're in, and the players that are going to be available. I think Reguilon will be back. I think
that's why.
Højbjerg, Harry Kane, Son. If those 5 players are on the pitch, I think we'll win. So I'm going to go for 3-2.
We're talking about a team that is definitely inferior to them. So it should be.
Exactly. So I feel like if we go out there with the right approach and we have the right players playing, like Tanganga, like Reguilon, etc., I think we'll win. I'm with Anthony. I think we're going to win that one 3-2. It's not going to be.
It's the defense for me. I want to see what defense we go with, because I don't know anymore. He's going to probably stick Dyer in there again. I won't be surprised.
It's true. So yeah, we'll just wrap it up there. It is a depressing time being a Spurs fan, but at least I've got you guys here every week with me to rant about it. And we'll definitely have Anthony on again because you're brilliant.
Yeah,
absolutely brilliant. So we'll go from where we can everyone find you, lot. Toby, where can everyone find you? All the great stuff you're doing.
Apparently, people have been calling me Romelu Lukaku today because I've worn an Inter top. So you can find me. You can find me in Milan. But if you want to search for me on socials, my name's Tapintobes, TAPINTOBS. Tapintobes on all socials. Subscribe to my YouTube. Follow me on Instagram. Follow me on Twitter. Yeah, just whatever. Do what you want.
Definitely do, because he's everywhere. I mean, you even done a little stint with Robbie, I saw.
Yeah,
really. So
I hated that. If you lost.
Tanya, where can everyone find you? And plug your pod and everything.
Yeah, no, defo. So you can find me on Twitter, Tanya_Leona. And you can also check out, we'll talk about that later, podcast, Weekly Football Podcast. We've just dropped a new episode. And yeah, the Twitter handle's in my bio. It's just @WeTotalOfficial.
Yeah, definitely go check that out. And Auntie, where can everyone find you? I don't know. You're just everywhere at the moment on every Spurs pod, I think, ranting.
You can find me depressed in my garage in my man cave after a Spurs result. Just at Costa without the H, because that's some random American guy that gets really annoyed because people tag him in things. He's not got a clue about football. At Anthony Costa without the H on Twitter, on Instagram, and I'm a bit of a regular on Last Word on Spurs as well. But yeah, so
yeah.
Right. So thank you all. This is where we all wave, and I awkwardly try press end broadcast because it never ends when I want it to. So bye everyone.